Welcome back to module 8 of this unit 2, permutations and combinations, and we will talk about some miscellaneous examples on this topic. Just to recall, we have defined NPR, permutation of n objects taken R at a time, which is defined as n factorial upon n minus R factorial, and this is precisely the number of ways we can arrange R objects out of a total of n. The same way we have also talked about combinations, the number of ways we can select R objects out of n, and we call it as the combination of n objects taken R at a time, and it is given by n factorial upon R factorial into n minus R factorial. While permutation talks about arrangements and where order is important, combination talks about only selection where order is not important. So depending on what we are trying to do, if we are trying to select something in a particular problem, we try to use combinations, and whenever we try to arrange objects or find different patterns, we use permutations. Let us consider this example. In a cricket tournament involving 10 teams, each team is scheduled to play every other team twice at the league stage, one at home and one away. Find the total number of matches that will take place at the league level. Okay, so we have 10 teams, and each of the team is scheduled to play with every other opponent twice. Okay, let us first talk about how many matches will take place if every team has to play exactly once, okay, with every other opponent. Okay, so now for a match to happen, we basically require two teams. Okay? So the number of matches that will take place will be the same as the number of ways I can select any two teams out of this 10. So we are only trying to select two teams here, so we'll use combinations. The number of ways I can select two teams out of 10 is 10C2. So 10C2 is 10 factorial upon 2 factorial into 10 minus 2, that is 8 factorial, or we know in general that NC2 is n into n minus 1 upon 2. So it will be 90 upon 2, that is equal to 45. So there are 45 number of ways I can select any two teams out of this 10, and that will be exactly the number of matches that will happen between teams, 10 teams, when one team plays exactly once with every other opponent. But of course, since they are playing twice with each other, the total number of matches will be 45 plus 45, exactly twice, that is 90. So it is 90 the number of matches that will take place in the league stage. Of course, we could have also solved it manually by not really jumping to the combinations, but since we were selecting teams here, we just said we could use combination. We could have also solved it manually. So if I since I have 10 teams, if you start with any team, say your team A, now how many matches will team A play? Now team A will play with every other remaining 9 opponents. So A will play 9 matches. When you go to the next, any other team B. Now this B will also play 9 matches, but that will include the match that it has played with A. So B, besides this 9 matches, B will play 8 matches. Okay, excluding the ones it has played with A. If you go to the next team C, this C will also play 9 matches, but it will play a match with A and B. So taking out those, this C will play 7 distinct matches. The same way the next opponent will play 6 matches. The next team will play 5 matches. The next team 4 matches. The next team 3 matches, 2 and 1. So the total number of matches that will happen is the sum of all these numbers, 9 plus 8 plus 7 till 1, that will come to 45. Or instead of hearing it manually, it is the sum of the first n natural numbers. The formula is n into n plus 1 upon 2 to find the sum. It is 9 into 10 upon 2, that is equal to 45. Now this is when a team is playing exactly once with every other opponent. But they are since playing twice, it will be 45 plus 45, that is 90. Okay, so either we can go to the combinations, use that formula and find the answer, or we could also find it manually. Let us consider this example. How many straight lines can be drawn from 4 points in a plane? Assume that these points are non-collinear. That means these points are not in straight line. Okay, so we want to basically draw straight lines from these 4 points. Now, how do I draw a straight line? To draw a line, I basically require 2 points. Between between every 2 lines, there is one unique line, straight line. Okay, so if I have to find out the number of lines that I can draw from these 4 points, I have to just find out the number of ways I can select any 2 points out of this 4. For every 2 points that you consider out of this 4, it will give you one line. So the answer to this will just be 4C2, the number of ways I can select 2 points out of this 4, which is 4 into 3 upon 2, which is equal to 12 upon 2, that is 6. Again here, it is just a case of we are just trying to select something, and that's why I went for combinations. We were trying to select any 2 points out of these 4 points, and we use combinations. Let us consider the next example. This is slightly different from what we did earlier. This is more of a computation solutions. Okay, so permutations of n comma r is given 336. So this is npr, which is 336, and combinations ncr is given to be equal to 56. So basically we have 2 equations. Based on this, we want to find the value of r and n. Okay, so if we just go by the definition, we know that npr is n factorial upon n minus r factorial. This is equal to 336. Okay, and ncr is n factorial upon r factorial into n minus r factorial, and this is given to be 56. Okay, so basically I have 2 equations here which I need to solve for 2 unknowns, that is n and r. Either I can cross multiply and arrive at an equation and then try to solve them simultaneously, or in this case it is little easier because we see that n factorial upon n minus r factorial, this part, this expression is common here in both the equations. Okay, n factorial upon n minus r factorial is 336. So I can always replace this n factorial upon n minus r factorial by 336. This r factorial will remain, and this is equal to 56. So what do I get? Cross multiply this r factorial and 56. I have 336 divided by 56. It is equal to r factorial, or r factorial is equal to 336 upon 56 is 6. Okay, so I get finally r factorial is equal to 6. So for what value of r factorial is 6. We know that 3 factorial is equal to 6. That means this r is equal to, so we got the value of r. Okay, now only we have to find out the value of n. So this r, value of r, you can substitute in any of this equation, either npr or ncr, and then you will get the value of n. Let's say we substitute in npr. We know that npr is equal to 336. By definition, npr is n factorial upon n minus r factorial. R here is 3. So we have 3 here, np3. So this is n minus 3. So n factorial I can simplify as n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 divided by n minus 3 factorial. In the denominator I have n minus 3 factorial. This is equal to 336. 336. So I can cancel this. So finally what I have is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 is equal to 336. Okay, so I have to find out the value of n such that n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 is 336. How do I do it? I can simplify this bracket, of course, and then you will get an equation and I can factorize it. Or in this case you will see that this n into n minus 1 into n minus 2, these 3 terms are 3 consecutive numbers. N minus 1 and n minus 2 are 3 consecutive numbers. So these are basically 3 consecutive numbers whose product is 336. Now, which are the three consecutive numbers whose product is 336? Okay, you'll recall that 6, 7 and 8. 6 into 7 into 8 we know is 336. So these three numbers are 6, 7 and 8. Except that now you have to know which one of them is 6, which one of them is 7 and which one of them is 8. Now, out of n, n minus 1 and n minus 2, which is the smallest number? Okay. N minus 2 is the smallest number. Then n minus 1 is the middle number and n is the highest number. So the highest number is n in this, and that should be the highest number in this, that is 8. Okay. So here n is equal to 8. So we get the value of 8, and we had already found out the value of 3. R is equal to, if you substitute 8 and 3, you should get the same values, 336 and 56. Okay, so I have to basically solve these two equations to get the value of n and r. Let us consider the next example, a similar one. So I have a ratio here. So the ratio of NP5 and NP3 is 2:1. Okay. What this basically means is NP5 divided by NP3 is equal to 2/1. The ratio of NP5 and NP3, that is this, is same as 2:1. So 2/1. NP5 by definition we say n factorial upon n minus 5 factorial, and NP3 is n factorial upon n minus 3 factorial, and this has to be equal to 2/1. So we can cancel this n factorial will cancel. Okay, this n minus 3 factorial you can take on top. In that case you have n minus 3 factorial upon, I have n minus 5 factorial. This is equal to 2/1. Now among n minus 3 and n minus 5, which is a bigger number? N minus 3 is a bigger number. So I'll use the reduction formula and I'll reduce this n minus 3 till n minus 5. So n minus 3 factorial is n minus 3 into n minus 4 into n minus 5 factorial. This divided by n minus 5 factorial. I simplified this n minus 3 factorial like this because now I can cancel this n minus 5 factorial in the numerator and denominator, and this has to be equal to 2/1, that is. So finally I have the equation n minus 3 into n minus 4 is equal to 2. What I can do is I can simplify this. N into n is n square, n into minus 4 is minus 4n, minus 3n, and minus 3 into minus 4 is plus 12. This is equal to 2. Or I have n square minus 4n minus 3n is minus 7n plus this 12, and this 2 I shift on the left, so it will become minus 2. So 12 minus 2 is 10, that is equal to 0. So all that I have to do is I have to factorize n square minus 7n plus 10 is equal to 0. What are the factors? I want the sum as minus 7, product is 10. So minus 5n minus 2. So you will say n square minus 5n minus 2n plus 10 equal to 0. Or we will take n common from the first two terms. So n into n minus 5 minus, here you take minus 2 common, you will get n minus 5 equal to 0. Or n, you take n minus common here now, n minus 5 is common in both the terms. So I have n minus 2 equal to 0. So either n minus 5 is equal to 0 or n minus 2 equal to 0 for this product to be 0. So either n is equal to 5 or n is equal to 2. So I have two values here, 5 and 2. Now which one of it is correct? Now you will see that I have NP3 here and NP5. So this n that I am talking about should be at least greater than or equal to 5, because this n is at least greater than or equal to r. So r here is 5. So the least value of this n can be equal to 5. So this n cannot be equal to 2. N has to be equal to 5, and that is the answer. Okay. Of course, instead of factorizing, simplifying like this, I could have found out the value directly here as well. I mean, without going to this factorization, this n minus 3 into n minus 4 equal to 2. If you look at this n minus 3 and n minus 4, these are again two consecutive numbers. If you look at this, these are two consecutive numbers, and the product of these two consecutive numbers is 2. Which are the two consecutive numbers whose product is 2? We know that 1 into 2 is 2. These are the two consecutive numbers whose product is 2. That means this n minus 3 and n minus 4 are basically 1 and 2. Now which one among them is 1? Whichever is the smallest among them. Now n minus 3 and n minus 4. Which is a smaller number? N minus 4 is a smaller number. And the bigger number is n minus 3. So n minus 3 is equal to 2, the bigger number in that. So you will get n is equal to minus 3, you take on the right side, 2 plus 3, that is equal to 5. So I could have got n equal to 5 directly by using this, instead of factorizing this equation in this case. We'll go to the next example. I have C 10 comma R. Now again I have ratio here of 10 CR and 12 CR plus 1, and this ratio is the same as the ratio of 9 and 44. So basically the ratio of 10 CR and 12 CR plus 1. So I can 10 CR is 10 factorial upon R factorial into 10 minus R factorial. This divided by 12 CR plus 1, which is 12 factorial upon R plus 1 factorial into 12 minus R plus 1 factorial. So this is the ratio of 10 CR and 12 CR plus 1. The denominator is 12 CR plus 1, numerator is 10 CR, and this has to be equal to the ratio of 9 and 42, 9 by 42. Now if you simplify this, you can take this term on the right, this will get multiplied here. So I have R plus 1 factorial, and this, now this 12, I have 12 minus R, and if I get rid of this bracket, this minus into plus 1 will become minus 1. So this 12 minus 1 will become 11, and I have minus R as it is, this factorial. So both these terms I am taking on top. Okay, we know that A upon B upon C upon D is same as A into this D goes here, C goes here. So A into D upon B into C. So this term goes here on top, and the denominator R factorial, this thing will get multiplied to 12 factorial. So on top we also have 10 factorial. So this 1, 2 goes and multiplies here, divided by these 2 will get multiplied. So I have R factorial into 10 minus R factorial into this 12 factorial, and this should be equal to 9 upon 40. Now we'll try to get rid of terms, whichever terms we can cancel. Like here I have 12 factorial and I have 10 factorial. So you can always reduce this 12 factorial till 10 factorial and you can cancel that. R plus 1 factorial is also, you can get rid of R factorial by simplifying R plus 1 factorial. So R plus 1 factorial is R plus 1 into R plus 1 minus 1 factorial. Okay. The same way 11 minus R factorial, 11 minus R factorial is 11 minus 1 into 11 minus 1 minus R minus 1 factorial. Okay. 10 factorial I'll keep as it is, this divided by R factorial I'll keep as it is, into I have 10 minus R factorial as it is, and this 12 factorial I'll write as 12 into 11 into 10 factorial. This should be equal to 9 upon 44. So this 10 factorial will cancel. Now this R plus 1, this plus 1 minus 1 is 0. So I have R factorial here basically. So this r factorial will cancel with this r factorial. The same way this I have 11 minus r minus 1. 11 minus 1 is 10. So basically I have 10 minus r factorial here, which will cancel with this 10 minus r factorial. So the terms that will remain are r plus 1 into 11 minus r divided by, I have 12 into 11 is equal to 9 upon 44. I'll cross multiply this. So I have r plus 1 into 11 minus r is equal to 9 into 12 into 11 divided by 44. Okay, so I'll multiply this 9 into 12 into 11. That will come to so what I have, I'll simplify the bracket the same way. So basically I have r plus 1 into 11 minus r is equal to 9 into 12 into 11 divided by 44. So if we cancel out these terms, this right hand side will come to 27, and at the same time I'll multiply this these two brackets. So I'll have 11r, r into 11, okay, minus r into r is r square, plus I have 1 into 11, 11, minus 1 into r is r, and this is equal to 27. Okay, so I have minus r square, 11r minus r is equal to plus 10r, plus 11, and this 27 I'll shift on the left side, so minus 27 equal to 0. So I have minus r square plus 10r minus 16 equal to 0. 11 minus 27. Okay, I can write this. I'm going to get rid of this negative sign. I'll get this as r square minus 10r plus 16 equal to 0. Okay, so again I have an equation here, a quadratic equation. I'll factorize this. So I want the sum as minus 10 and product is 16. So 8 and 2. So I have r square minus 8r minus 2r plus 16 equal to 0. Or I'll take r common. So r minus 8 minus 2 common here, r minus 8 equal to 0. Or r minus 8 into r minus 2 equal to 0. Which means either r minus 8 is equal to 0 or r minus 2 equal to 0. So either r is equal to 8 or r is equal to 2. So I get the answers, r can be the 2 or 8. This is the answer for that question.